My name is Lisa La Touche, and I am a choreographer, an educator, an artist in residence here at Decidedly Jazz. I started here, here in Calgary. I started recreationally when I was 8 years old and caught the bug. I did start with tap dance, so I am a tap dancer. My mom tap danced when she was young here in Calgary, so she showed me a few little steps in the kitchen, and then I loved it. So she stuck me in dance, and from there it was, well, if you want to join the team, then you got to take ballet and jazz and all that stuff. But the blessing really amongst all of that is that one of my teachers in my school happened to be Joanne Baker. And so that became like an early awareness of Decidedly Jazz. And so as a kid, I was so grateful to be taking my local dance classes and then coming to see dance in concert with Decidedly Jazz and be actually opened up to the world of jazz music and dance, etc. So from then on, it was just expansive. I will say the luckiest I've ever felt is being so connected to a lot of our masters and some of the pioneers in tap dance. Really, when I discovered I'll say this carefully, the legit tap dance community and some of the actual masters and elders of our form at the time, I was really embraced. So to be able to hang out with Jimmy Slide and Dr. Jenny Lagon and meet Buster Brown, Harold Cromer, so many, it's like you pinch yourself, you know? And then from there, to eventually make it into onto the Broadway stage, which was pretty amazing. The Broadway stage wasn't the shiniest part. It was the fact that I was able to embody a lot of our ancestors in a really important historical story on Broadway. So that it kind of circles around for me that I was just kind of always around the right people and in the root of this thing at the right time, and it just graduated me over onto these different spaces that led me into an arena such as that. And there's nothing, to me, there's nothing greater than that. I got to actually tell the story of our Black ancestors that were formerly unknown on Broadway while on Broadway. So, to me, that was it. The production was in 2016, and it was the telling of the story of Shuffle Along of 1921. It's the whole reason why Langston Hughes even moved to Harlem, and it's why I rep Harlem. I was living in Harlem at the time, too. So, yeah, it's a really special story. I can't believe little old me from Calgary was welcomed to be able to tell a part of that story. Who have I looked up to in my career, and why? A few people. I tell this story quite a bit that my hero growing up was Savion Glover. Growing up in my adolescence in the 90s, he was the big celebrity of tap dance at the time. I say that I was able to see him on cable television in the 90s here in Canada. And it was like, he was like hip hop. He was raw. It was like a sound of tap dance I hadn't heard before, coming off of the heels of someone like Gregory Hines. I remember watching the movie Tap and just being like, wow, this is cool. There's this whole other culture. So I say this very carefully because seeing Savion opened my eyes to what this is musically. And then there was particularly a piece that he did for the president on PBS in like 1998, I would say, where he brought in some of his peers and one by one introduced them. They were all male until at the very end he said, we want to introduce our first lady, and he brought on the stage this woman, Ayodele Cassell. And that's when the game changed for me, because I was like, a woman kind of around my generation. She looks a little bit like me, hidden. I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. There must be a place for me. And so I looked up to her pretty quickly. And then soon after I saw that clip, I started going around the festival circuit, meeting some of these masters. And then I was so grateful to still have a friendship and a mentorship with the great Diane Walker. So now it's transitioned into, I look up to her quite a bit. She was 34, just as I was, when she was on Broadway with Black and Blue. She also was one of the leading women in tap dance in an era where everyone thought tap dance was dead or dying. So she carried such a torch, and the men vouched for her. They were like, no, she was considered an honorary Hoofer from the original Hoofers, and they vouched for her. They were like, no, she's one of us. She's going to be on the stage with us. So what she did for women was phenomenal because she was fantastic. And she's a mother of two. She's a lover of community. She's one of our greatest educators. She just enables the whole thing. So now I look to her as a leading woman who is leading us as women as we continue to brave forward in this career. What project am I not working on? I'm really grateful to be super freelance. I have been a full-time artist since I decided to do this at age 19. And so that means that there's always multiple things happening in order for me to have a career. I just finished working on, it's not really finished, but we mounted tap, bass, and drums with my friend John McCaslin, my co-collaborator here in Calgary, also artist in residence. And that opened my eye to the multidisciplinary exchange within different art mediums, and I'm currently about to go on tour with Michelle Dorrance and Dorrance Dance. I'm also working on my own one-woman project with a DJ in New York. I'm an artist in residence at the American Tap Dance Foundation as well in New York. I wake up every morning and am excited about what I have to do that day, and every day it's something different. How do I spend my time when I'm not dancing? I'm blessed to have a son, a 4-year-old at this moment, and he keeps me, dare I say the word, balanced. So weekends, when I don't have all these things to do, I kind of keep as much of it open. We love going out in nature. We love doing puzzles. Right now it's all about Lego. And I love taking him to see live music, going to museums, things like that. And I'm an avid yogi, and I meditate every day. So that I can. I also really like sleep when I get it, and I take it. Oh. He's starting to. I did a project in Toronto last year, and that was his first time seeing mommy in public dancing. And at first he screamed because he's like, what are you doing? All the attention's supposed to be on me, and now it's on mom. So we're learning to share. But yeah, he likes it. He loves being in the theater, and he loves being around the arts. A piece of advice I would give for anyone interested in exploring dance: do it! Really, because my mantra in general is you have to trust what inspires you. So if we're talking about dancers specifically who are passionate about dance and curious about the career, I mean, it's so unpredictable, and so is life. So you might as well do what you really feel like you're called to do and trust it. Do it, trust it, and you just can't go wrong. One thing I would like to extend is such gratitude for such an organization and a place and a space and a community such as DJD, because especially since I've been back here in Calgary, just to have a place so multifaceted, rooted in the culture of what we do, it goes a long way. So You know, we know what shoulders we're standing on, and we know the relationships we need to continue to nurture. And if we don't have a space to do it, and we don't have relationships that are continuing, we can get siloed, you know? So to me, it's so nice to have a hub no matter where we are. And Calgary's just so lucky. So they've been such a supporter of me, inclusive, to be able to dance and choreograph with the company and share on the multi-levels from community to professionals. It's really cool. And now my son comes and takes classes too. Like, it's wild, you know, but we need thriving arts ecosystems, and I'm just really grateful.